Welcome everyone. Today's video is going to be about Donald Trump and his presidency that is coming up. What we're going to be talking about is the next 4 years. So each 4 sections represent 1 year in Donald Trump's presidency. So guys, I just want you to know that I do have my own personal feelings about Donald Trump, but because this is a spiritual reading, I cannot put in my own personal, even though I have a lot to say about him, I will not do that in this reading. So of course I chose him as the King of Pentacles, somebody who owns properties, someone who has a lot of wealth, and someone who is sitting at the top of the throne. So let us start. So Spirit had a lot to say. There's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoever he picked to be part of his cabinet or part of Secretary of State, 5 of them will go in and 2 of them will not. 1 woman and 1 man will not make it. It's also telling me a lot that Donald Trump is actually going in kind of like someone who's going in without a great deal of support or foundation. And also it's telling me that it's someone who's going to have to learn the laws, rules, and how things are done. So this is telling me that the transition in the first year is going to be a lot on him. He has a lot to learn. So it's kind of like being in school, because even though he has a staff, it's still going to be a lot going on with him personally. One thing that I see him having issues with is kind of like understanding, I don't know, like how laws work or how certain things work. So he's actually in a period where he's gonna be learning. So believe it or not, you should see him actually start to calm down or not be as outspoken. I think he's still going to be outspoken, but I think he's going to be less offensive. This is his wife. His wife is most definitely not... She has a lot of mixed feelings. I just want to hold her card. She has a lot of mixed feelings, mixed emotions. But one thing that is showing in these cards is that she doesn't feel very welcomed. It's kind of like thank you, but no thank you. It's kind of like Washington is sending her a thank you, but no thank you. Don't be shocked if the first lady is kind of absent in her first year. I don't think she'll be as involved. I think as the years pass, she will, but I see her going out of town a lot. I see her doing a lot of things, just more so not really being involved, more so out of judgment. So here's where we need to worry. This tells me a lot. This tells me, this card, Spirit was telling me about a certain man who is going to come and he's going to sit on the Supreme Court. Donald Trump is going to pick him personally. This man is from the West. I believe he's from like California, Colorado, Arizona. He's from one of those. This man is the hand of the law. Okay, he will be the next Supreme Court judge. This man does not play. Okay, and if it's a woman, it's a very masculine energy. Very. She has a very strict interpretation of the law. It doesn't matter who you are, president of the United States, president of whatever, she does not care. He or she, but I feel it's a he. This person is not, he or she, I keep wanting to say she. This person is going to try to change something about the gay marriage. It's like you'll still be able to marry, but something is going to change. This person here is no joke. No joke. And they're at an age where they can sit in the Supreme Court for a while. So Yeah, he's most definitely going to get someone in the first year. So it's going to be pretty. This person does not play at all. But it's also speaking in terms of it's also laws, very strict interpretations of laws. So expect laws. It's going to get interesting, but some of it is good and some of it is bad too. We go into his second year. So his second year, the second year, y'all, is when we start seeing a lot of laws finally taking place. Somebody is going to leave his cabinet, or one of his attorneys is going to leave. I keep thinking this is his son. Something is going to happen where he's going to have to leave, some type of scandal. So somebody who's behind him is going to leave. So over here, this is when we start getting into Mexico, immigration laws. There will be talks of a wall, but I don't think a wall is going to get built. What's going to happen is it's other laws that are going to come that's going to feel like he did build a wall. They're also going to do a lot of surveillance. Like, there's going to be a lot of heavy surveillance. I just feel whatever immigration is planning, it's going to be it's very online, or it's very on air, where things are constantly being recorded. This is his wife. I don't think him and his wife are necessarily on good terms. There's a lot of arguments, fighting, and things of that sort. Spirit said the month of April and March of 2018 is going to be when we see just a lot of these laws being in. It's going to be interesting, guys. A lot of these strict laws is going to come, and they're going to be enacted. So that's when we're really going to see policy change. And here's where it talks about misguidance, or laws that have created misguidance. Rather than making things better, it's going to take a lot of panic. And this is kind of crazy, because this is speaking in terms of our local leaders kind of like not knowing exactly what to do. So it's going to be a lot of confusion around between the months of March to May. I wouldn't necessarily believe what is being told on TV, because it's going to be a lot of mixed bad news, fake news. It's going to be a lot. But the second year is when we see a lot of laws start to take place. So basically, the immigration laws is going to pass. So the third year, the third year is basically when whatever laws he's passed or whatever has gone through, we will start experiencing them, that they will pass. And Spirit is honestly saying some laws will benefit us and some will not. But when it comes to, for those who are scared of the whole thing with if you are not here legally, you have some things to worry about, because his laws will pass. But many people will actually, this to me is speaking all about politics. His party, his staff, it's slowly falling apart. So by the third year, you'll see a lot of people kind of like abandon ship. So by the third year, but by then, all of these laws are being passed. And by the third year, him and this represents like kind of like things finally falling into place. He's finally getting what he wants. Yes, These are major cuts. Cuts will be made. So be prepared. Not just that, but it's going to affect a lot of areas outside of the city. So if you live in like a more rural area, or if you live somewhere where opportunities are not really that many and you kind of rely on certain programs, I feel like the programs are still going to be there, but it's going to be really tight. So if you live outside of the actual city or major cities, a lot of his policies and a lot of his laws are going to affect poor people. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. People will be moving too. There's a lot of movement. This card is saying so much to me, like people traveling or people moving. I think I almost want to call it a great, oh, I get it. Y'all, it took me a while. There's going to be a great migration of people who are not legal, who are going to actually leave the country. So we are actually going to see some type of exodus of people leaving, and it will happen. And another thing I'm seeing is, wow, okay, that's crazy how it kind of played out. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of protest, and I feel in certain states it will help, but the majority, there's gonna be a huge exodus in like the third year. I feel it's like the beginning going towards like the middle of the third year. Okay, and then we go into the fourth year. The one card that really stands out is right here. This is our next president of the United States. This is someone who came from a Republican background, but is now a Democrat, or it's somebody who was raised in a very conservative type of environment, but and is somebody who's well traveled too, well groomed, knows about politics, but is really good in foreign policies, really good in foreign policies, which is something I really like. I believe one of his parents is gonna be like British or something. It's something, one of his parents is gonna be directly from Europe or something of that sort. He is somebody who nobody really knows about. He's just gonna kind of come out of nowhere. I feel he used to be from like one of these hotter states. It's not Florida. It feels like Missouri or somewhere hot. Arizona. I don't know. I said Arizona for the it's somewhere hot. That's all I see. But here's our hope. But he has a very something about his background. It is very sketchy, but he actually does have a lot of plans. By the fourth year, Congress will actually fall back into place, but it's going to be still very divided, very not in tune. I will say something Spirit is telling me here. I really feel for this immigration law, you guys are going to have to fight tooth and nail from the very beginning to the very end to win. Because if you don't fight, it's going to be a huge, yeah, that's all I can say. And then it comes over here. This is what's kind of funny. His laws kind of fall into place, but then during his fourth year, the states start to modify things. So certain states a lot of states will take on these laws, but it's going to be By the fourth year, we'll start seeing laws being moved around. I don't know how to explain it, but laws being moved around and not exactly as strict or as firm as it originally was. So things will start to kind of like, well, I don't want to put too much hope. Let me just keep reading. His fourth year, he's going to run for office. He's going to run. So I want to pull out some more cards and see what his presidency is going to seem like. So I just put out some more cards. He's going to run. But it's actually speaking in terms of a very calm presidency. And this is a card of somebody coming out of the woodwork, 1, 2, 3 on the fourth year. So somebody is coming. So who's not going to be like Donald Trump. In all honesty, his presidency is very mixed. It's not good, but it's not bad either. Like, it's going to be, a lot of his laws are actually going to be overturned. So we may all feel kind of like, oh my God, or some of us are happy and celebrating, but believe it or not, whoever takes office next is going to actually overturn a lot of things, but it's just surviving or, you know, getting through these next 4 years, because yeah. And also, Spirit is talking a lot about Mike Pence is going to give police a lot of power. A lot. So the whole thing about Black Lives Matters and things is not about to like change anytime soon. It's still going to be a major issue in the news. Also, another thing Spirit talked about was the rise of terroristic white supremacy. Not your normal, oh, I hate blacks, Hispanics, Jews, and things of that sort. Like people who are actually going to be committing terroristic acts. It's going to be pretty interesting. Overall, it feels very gray. It doesn't feel completely bad, but it doesn't feel completely good. Also, another thing Spirit wanted me to tell y'all is that this bill that he's going to pass, it's going to actually more so benefit the wealthy or the middle class when it comes to healthcare. If you're poor, your health class, your healthcare is going to remain crappy. So it's going to kind of do the same thing as Obamacare, but flipped. So there's still going to be a lot of people who still don't have healthcare, and Spirit says we will eventually have universal healthcare, but it's going to be crappy. So it's not going to be anything that we should be excited about. We will have it, but it's not going to be, and it's going to be modified so much. I mean, y'all, it's a mess. But the whole point of this presidency is that a lot of things, Spirit said a lot of things, and there's just a lot of changes coming. And one thing that has me concerned is how much more power do police need? Because here's where I saw it here. A lot of things are about to change. A lot. So, one thing Donald Trump really likes is structure. Structure. He likes structure, and he likes discipline. And I think a lot of us, so I would tell people, be on your P's and Q's. Make sure, because things are changing. Really, by the third year, we'll know. Also, Spirit talked about something while I was driving in the car. It was weird. They told me that Donald Trump is actually something is going to be passed where a lot of people are going to start losing their homes and businesses around the middle of the 3rd year. I don't know what it is, but something is going to, in certain areas, not all parts of the United States, but it's going to cause some type of, I don't know, people won't be buying houses, or people are going to be losing homes and things of that sort. When it comes to the economy, we're going to kind of enter into a kind of economic depression in like the middle of the 3rd year going into the 4th year. So guys, it's going to be very interesting, because one thing I don't think Donald Trump understands is that a lot of these strict laws is going to cause people to be really scared. And it's even going to turn people who trusted him kind of against him. And then Congress, they're all over the place. I don't see them getting an order until the middle of the 3rd, 4th year. So it's a lot going on. The thing I like about our new president right here is that he's very global. Like, he sees a world market. So when he thinks of the United States, he's looking at it in a way of where do we stand on a global map. Also, he's very big on education. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to come in and change a lot of Donald Trump's laws. So again, guys, this is my interpretation. Somebody had asked me, do I think Donald Trump will have a 2nd term? The problem is that his presidency is very lukewarm. It's not hot, but it's not cold. It's like people kind of feel like, oh well. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching.